thank you for joining us on Nationwide, coming to you live from the network service of the Nigerian Television Authority. I am Ruth Aguela. Now let's begin with legislative matters. Senate has received executive communication from President Muhammadu Buhari requesting the confirmation of Justice Ibrahim Tanko as Chief Justice of Nigeria and 15 special advisors to the President. The legislators at Thursday's plenary also commended President Muhammadu Buhari for signing the African Continental Free Trade Agreement. Ignatius Onkwo tells us more on the trade agreement motion.
Well, after a long wait, Nigeria has signed the African Continental Free Trade Agreement. President Muhammadu Buhari signed the agreement at the 12th Extraordinary Summit of the African Union. And then 1 week after this agreement, the Senate has commended the President and urged the federal government to ensure that Nigeria expands its production sector so as not to allow this agreement make Nigeria a dumping ground. Senator Jibrin Barau moved that motion, which was extensively debated on the floor of the Senate. He's here to tell us more on the essence of that motion. Thank you for joining us.
Well, thank you very much. First of all, let me commend Mr. President, as I made mention in my motion, that government should continue to make sure we have all these infrastructures put in place so that the cost of production of goods produced in Nigeria will be competitive globally. It's only through that we can fully benefit from this agreement.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
All right. Well, we still have Senator Buhari Abdul Fatai. He's here to tell us how do you feel about this motion and the signing of this agreement by the President?
Beautiful, because which means Nigerians have come of age. If you look at the mover of the motion, when he said it in the body of the motion that the President initially refused, this now set up a technical committee to review the pros and the cons of the treaty, and eventually we found out that the advantage we are going to have is more than the disadvantage, which means Nigeria have come of age. Though there is a fear that Nigeria may become a dumping ground, but the issue has been taken care of. When you make your own product very competitive, it is better because it will generate more employment.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I'm very grateful.
All right. Okay. All right. Well, the Senate also resolved to invite the management of the Nigerian Communications Commission over the issue of inefficient service by telecommunication companies, especially in the cases of call drops and interruption of calls. This is what we have for you from the Red Chamber at the moment.
Thank you, Ignatius. And still on legislative matters, reducing the cost of governance, amendment of the Electoral Act, and the need to have more women participation in the legislature are some of the prospects for consideration on the legislative agenda of the 9th National Assembly. National Assembly correspondent Omotola Omojola reports that the committee stated this at a meeting with stakeholders on the legislative agenda setting.
A legislative framework at the start of an assembly is said to be imperative for building an effective legislature that meets the yearnings of citizens in good governance. This informed the decision by the Senate Ad hoc Committee on Legislative Agenda to engage stakeholders to start the process. Some of the submissions at the meeting bother on police reforms, constitutional amendment, devolution of power to states, and reform in the judiciary to restore public confidence, among other issues.
Being able to capture a process of sharing information on the budget of the National Assembly so that this would be very clear and transparent to Nigerians. A lot of times Nigerians offer opinions on the funding of the National Assembly in ways that sometimes is not too well informed.
We believe that the National Assembly can be able to help to reduce the cost of governance in Nigeria by eliminating duplication, waste, and ensuring that they do things in a manner that it will help save Nigeria and prioritize investment on the Nigerian people.
Distinguished colleagues, I think we have to thank Mr. Clement Owonkwo very well for his far-reaching presentation. It has really added a lot to what we have, even though a number of these have been included in the ninth Senate agenda, but others that have not been included will also be included.
The legislative agenda, which started during the 6th Assembly, has become a norm in the National Assembly. From the National Assembly, Omotola Omojola, NTA News.
And House of Representatives at Thursday's plenary passed for second reading a bill for an act to establish a national commission against the proliferation of small arms and light weapons to coordinate and implement activities towards combating the act in line with ECOWAS Convention on the matter. Deliberating on the bill sponsored by Representative Mohammed Mongono from Borno State, members believe security agencies, especially the police, are overwhelmed by the prevailing security issues across the country. Therefore, it becomes imperative for the establishment of the commission. Other members who supported the bill are of the view that the commission, when established, will be a one-stop shop for mopping up illegal possessed small arms and light weapons by non-state actors. The bill was referred to the Committee on National Security and Intelligence when constituted for further legislative action. And Nigeria has marked the third African Anti-Corruption Day with the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission organizing a lecture on the theme for the 2019 celebration. The lecture, which was preceded by a walk to sensitize the public, attracted people from diverse backgrounds in line with African Union's wish to offer opportunity for the public and private sectors to join forces on how to combat corruption in the continent. Discussants noted that fighting corruption is a global concern that requires everybody's effort due to the fact that it affects the people disproportionately. The theme, towards a common African position on assets recovery, speakers say make it incumbent upon relevant authorities to focus on civil procedure on assets recovery and how to return it to the rightful countries. Now, AFCC on anti-corruption in Lagos still happening, and Dotun is our guide at the Center of Excellence. Hello, Dotun.
Thank you, Ruth, and welcome to Lagos. Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has assured residents in the Victoria Island, Lekki and Abuja areas of the state that plans are on the way to find lasting solution to the gridlock and drainage issues in the areas. The governor gave the assurance during an interview with newsmen after an inspection tour of the Lekki-Ekpe Expressway. Nosa Osula reports.
Governor Sanwo-Olu had, on assumption of office, signed an executive order to address the issue of traffic control and management, fixing of potholes on the roads, sanitation as well as cleaning of drainages in the state. As a follow-up to this, the governor disclosed that collection of toll on the Lekki-Ikoyi Link Bridge will go fully electronic by October in order to cut off the delays caused by queues of motorists seeking to pay the toll fare. He also assured residents that the drainage on the Abraham Adesanya end of the road, which had been causing flood in the area, would also be rehabilitated.
At the Lekki Toll Plaza, one of the things we're going to do, which is some of the things we've mentioned, is that in the morning, they're going to see if they can increase the booths going into Victoria Island in the morning. So we've seen that at least almost immediately we can increase it by additional 2 booths.
Governor Sanwo-Olu also met with some stakeholders in the Victoria Island Lekki axis to proffer solutions to the perennial gridlock on the Victoria Island Lekki Aja roads. The contractor handling circulation study of the area identified bad condition of inner streets and link roads and poor drainage systems as responsible for the congestion. In Lagos, Nosa Osula, NTA News.
Lagos State Police Command says its intelligence-driven efforts at curbing the menace of cultism and gangsterism is yielding results as 100 cultists and gangsters have been arrested in the last 2 weeks. The police commissioner, Zubairu Muhazu, stated this while inaugurating a technology-driven interview room at the state CID Yaba, where various crime suspects were also paraded. Jesuton Moses reports.
The State Police Command, in collaboration with its intelligence unit, had preempted a major cult celebration in the state with 100 cultists and gangsters arrested within the past 2 weeks.
The command, through massive raids on cultist strongholds, among other strategies, successfully prevented any kind of activity or killing on the 7th of July 2019. We have charged 70 of them to court and 30 are still under investigation.
The commissioner also paraded criminals arrested in various parts of the state. of high notes were a young boy who was allegedly involved in the killing of his landlord and a suspected killer of his girlfriend.
Then I wanted to report it to police. The woman called me that please, that I should not expose her.
After being on drugs and went to my place and I wanted to have her, but she refused that I should give her money first. And we started struggling with each other. Then the next thing I did, I took the kitchen knife and I stabbed her.
The Commissioner, Zubairu Muazu, commended officers and men of the State Command. He, however, charged them to shun corruption. The CP noted that times are hard for everyone, adding that corruption is worse than kidnapping, as some relatives go as far as selling property to bail suspects, which is unlawful, as bails must be free. In Lagos, Jesuton Moses, NTA News.
The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, says it is not leaving anything to chance towards ensuring that it lives up to the people's expectations. The Commission's Lagos Zonal Head, Mohammed Rabu, stated this while leading a road walk against corruption in Lagos. Annie Daniels has details.
The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, since inception, has been at the forefront of crime fighting and bringing to book corrupt persons found wanting. This roadwalk by the Commission was adopted in 2003 in Maputo, Mozambique, by the African Union to create more awareness on the need to combat the deadly monster out of Africa. What are we saying? This roadwalk, led by the EFCC Zonal Head in Lagos, Mohammed Rabu, is aimed at further sensitizing Nigerians, especially the youths, of the dangers of corruption and why Nigeria's resources illicitly exported to other nations must be returned.
We have a lot of assets in billions that we've recovered, and even of recent, we had forfeitures of millions of naira and dollars.
The work with the theme, working towards a common goal, to recover lost assets. In solidarity with them, we are several security agencies, human rights and civil society groups, as well as National Youth Service Corps members.
Over 50 billion is being stolen every year in Africa. Money that should be used to build schools, to have hospitals, to fight insurgency, to fight insecurity. Everything has become the byproduct of corruption.
The inscriptions on the T-shirts and placards say it all. The time to end corruption is now. In Lagos, Annie Daniels, NTA News.
And that's our contribution from Lagos. Nationwide continues after this break.
Enjoy the best of African football as NTA, Africa's largest television network and hotspots, Nigeria's foremost sports production and marketing company, bring you all 52 matches of the Africa Cup of Nations, Egypt 2019 live from June 21 to July 19, 2019. Yes, all 52 games will hit your screens in crystal clear digital quality. It's your guarantee of a memorable viewing experience and a wonderful cost-effective opportunity for corporate Nigeria to reach tens of millions of Nigerians. For sponsorship and commercial support, contact Abubakar on 0803-331-0175 and Felix on 0803-308-2375. Hot Sports, masters of the game. NTA, you can't beat the reach.
They are there at the crack of dawn. They are there busy preparing while we rise for our day. They are there silently, guarding, waiting, listening, and watching. They are there ready in the sky above and the waters below, in the blistering heat of the day, in the dead of night, willing, indefatigable, determined in the defense of the sovereignty of our country. They are our first line of defense and our last. They who have paid the ultimate price in defending us. They are fathers and uncles. They are mothers and sisters and girlfriends and boyfriends. They are brothers and cousins and best friends and neighbors. They are classmates, colleagues, and citizens of this nation. They are our defenders and deserve our respect, our prayers, our thoughts. Nigeria, please support our armed forces.
You can follow us on all our social media platforms: Facebook at NTA Network News, Instagram at NTA Network, Twitter at NTA News Now, YouTube at NTA News Online, or visit www.nta.ng. For live streaming, visit www.nta.ng/live. Now, you can stay updated on the go, be it on your TV, iPhone, laptop, or iPad, or download the NTA mobile application from your Play Store or App Store. NTA, you can beat the rich.
Thank you for staying tuned. The presidency has welcomed the recent report to British Foreign Commonwealth Office, specifically the British government's new focus on heather-farmer clashes from the High Commission in Nigeria. A statement from Garba Shehu quoted the report saying engagement with various stakeholders is key to breeding the dialogue and, most importantly, trust to resolve this age-old conflict. It further says the report sets out that there are many causes to the conflict, from competition over land to climate change, acknowledging that the National Livestock Transformation Plan sets out to deal with this by preventing open grazing of cattle and consequently the destructions of crops. Enclosed ranching, it noted, is a core component of the program, which guarantees farmers' yield and livelihoods, while herders' livestock produce more meat and milk in a ranch rather than being always on the move. The report also noted that the plans do not come at one or another's expense. Instead, they shall make both farmers and herders richer, learn to live together because there isn't another way, as the diversity should never be a cause for conflict, but a source of strength from which the nation can draw. It's now time we link up with Felicia in our Just studio for more reports on Nationwide. Hello, Felicia. Good to see you.
Ruth, welcome to Jos. Hearing on the Plateau State Governorship election petition continues in Jos with the State Governor, Simon Lalong, in attendance. Mary Domtur takes it from here.
The Governor of Plateau State witnessed the tendering of over 38 documents and their certified true copies by the petitioner, Senator Jeremiah Timbuk Hussaini, and the People's Democratic Party, PDP, challenging his victory at the 2019 governorship polls. Documents tendered during the hearing by the petitioner's counsel, Mike Ozekeme, includes INEC duplicate copies of statements of results from EC8A and certified true copies of 9 polling units in 9 registration areas in Just East local government area. Others are certified true copies of voters register for 9 units and registration areas in Shandam local government area. Similar documents for 11 areas in Kwampang local government area and certified true copies of voters register for 3 units and registration areas in Mangu local government area were also tendered. However, the inability of the petitioners to present witnesses after tendering documents was frowned at by the tribunal with a warning that there will be no further adjournment on such grounds. The tribunal held that the petitioners can close their case if they have exhausted their listed witnesses. Earlier, the lead counsel to the petitioners, Mike Ozekeme, had hinted the tribunal before tendering the documents that the witnesses they were expecting were coming from far away Kwampang and Shandam local government areas. The tribunal adjourned to Thursday, 11 July 2019 for continuation of hearing. In Jos, Mary Domtur, NTA News.
A survey by the European Union reveals that over 14 million Nigerians between the age of 14 to 65 abuse drugs. In view of this, drug control experts and a non-governmental organization, Drug Free Society of Nigeria, at a seminar in the University of Jos, called for the implementation of stringent drug control policies in the country. Comfort Bianteng reports.
Drug abuse is a pattern of repeated use of illicit drugs that often interferes with the health, work, and social relationships of the user. Speakers at the event say drug abuse has become a serious public health problem that has affected the productivity and development of the country.
Mental disorders, they often coexist. Mental diseases may precede addiction. In other cases, drug abuse may trigger or exacerbate a mental disorder. particularly in individuals who have vulnerabilities.
A type of megalomaniac tendency is very because megalomania. The thing is what is not.
To start initiating this addictive behavior, basically out of curiosity, peer pressure, and then environmental factors.
Stakeholders across social, religious, and traditional sectors have been
a place of fight. First, by creating spaces for young people, safe spaces for young people in the place of engagement, employment, empowerment, and sound education.
The event featured breathtaking performances that further drove home the point. In Jos, Comfort Biangten, NTA News.
That's our contribution from Jos. It's back to you, Ruth, for more on Nationwide.
Thank you, Felicia, and welcome back to Abuja. Now, the National Working Committee of the All Progressives Congress says it has received petitions from some stakeholders in Kogi State in reaction to indirect primaries adopted for the election for the party's candidates for the forthcoming governorship election in the state. The party's National Publicity Secretary, Larry Issa Onilu, in a statement says the National Working Committee will look at the merit of the petitions in line with the party's constitution and come up with a position in due course. The party thanked the aggrieved APC stakeholders in Kogi State for the peaceful manner in which they have conducted themselves so far and their trust in the National Working Committee to do the right thing, and assures all concerned parties that the National Working Committee will be guided only by the party's rules. The 2019 inaugural flight for Hajj operation has been flagged off with about 500 pilgrims at Umaru Musa Yar'Adua International Airport, Katsina. Correspondent Mohammed Salisu Awal reports that President Muhammadu Buhari urged the pilgrims to focus on nation building while performing the Hajj exercise.
President Muhammadu Buhari, who was represented by Katsina State Governor Aminu Bello Masari, employed the intending pilgrims to use the Hajj exercise to foster national cohesion and respect for one another.
Nigeria needs the affairs now more than ever. I have worked the activities of Hajj closely and noted the improvement in the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria and the respective state treatment of their hopes that achieved even to the admiration of the Nigerian authorities.
The President also stressed the need for the intending pilgrims to abide by rules and regulations of the Saudi Arabian government to avoid being caught breaking their laws. Chairman National Hajj Commission of Nigeria Abdullahi Mukhtar Muhammad admonished the intending pilgrims to be good ambassadors of the country.
This effort of Saudi government has eliminated the hardship of taking passports to embassies and the logistics required for that.
There were goodwill messages from relevant stakeholders alongside the Saudi Arabian ambassador to Nigeria. Some intending pilgrims expressed their satisfaction on the arrangement for this year's Hajj operation exercise. About 65,000 intending pilgrims are to be airlifted from Nigeria to perform the 2019 Hajj exercise. In Katsina, Mohammed Salis Awal.
And from Katsina, we move to Enugu, where awareness against social vices intensified. And Chinyere in that zone will bring us up to speed. Hello, Chinyere.
Ruth, and welcome to Enugu. The Enugu State Governor Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi has assembled professionals and experts in various fields to design a template that will guide the administration to achieve greater service delivery and good governance in his second tenure. Among the professionals inaugurated in the second batch of the sectorial ad hoc committee is the former Super Eagles captain, Austin J.J. Okocha, to bring his wealth of experience to bear on the sports sector. Susan Eze has details.
Those as the engine of economic growth. Governor Ugwuanyi named J.J. Okocha as the technical director of the Youth and Sports Ad Hoc Committee, chaired by former Director General of the Nigeria Broadcasting Commission, Mr. Emeka Mba. The committee is to profile strategies for the development of the sports sector in Enugu State. Other ad hoc sectorial committees are agriculture and rural development, finance, review of internally generated revenue, and international development partners funding. Others are land, housing and transport reforms, and Ad hoc Committee on Sustainable Environment and Urban Development, presented with their terms of reference. These committees are expected to come up with workable templates that will help the administration deliver on its electoral promises, with employment generation and rural development as priorities.
We are confident that they will deploy their wealth of experience, expertise, and commitment to add value to the governance of Nigeria State.
I'm 100% sure that members of all these committees that have been inaugurated today by His Excellency will have God Almighty as their guiding principle in whatever we are doing.
With 7 ad hoc committees having been inaugurated over a week ago, this second batch of 5 committees brings the number of ad hoc committees of the state government to 12. In Enugu, Susan Eze, NTA News.
Over 400 persons have benefited from a free medical outreach of the 82 Division Nigerian Army Enugu in commemoration of the 2019 Army Day celebration. Ijoma Ugweke was at Nchatanchanike, Enugu East Local Government Area, venue of the outreach program, and now reports.
The outreach program is one of the activities lined up for the 2019 Army Day celebration. The medical team comprising physiotherapists, dentists, pharmacists, opticians, and lab scientists offered treatments and administered drugs to the patients. The General Officer commanding 82 Division Nigerian Army, Enugu, represented by Brigadier General Clement Apele, reiterated the commitment of the Nigerian Army towards ensuring security and welfare of citizens in their immediate environment.
82 Division of Nigerian Army decide to carry out this one in this community, and it is done to take care of these small medical issues that people here might be having.
While thanking the host community in Chatanchanike for responding to their call to their medical outreach, said the program is aimed at uplifting civilian-military relations for smooth operation in their duty.
And this is one of the ways in which we give back to our society, host communities.
Medical outreach program is actually made to give free medical services to all the indigents of that village.
The people who came out in their numbers were screened for blood and sugar level, high blood pressure, malaria, typhoid, diabetes, toothache, and HIV, among others. The 82 Division Nigerian Army Enugu Medical Outreach, which is third in the series, has other areas of operation aimed at alleviating the sufferings of the less privileged. In Enugu, Ijomu Weke, NTA News.
The National Directorate of Employment, NDE, says drug abuse, human trafficking, domestic violence, and other forms of human rights violations are direct correlations of the increasing rate of unemployment in the country. Anambra State Coordinator of NDE, Mrs. Chika Ufele, stated this during a sensitization to enlighten youths and adults in Anisha, Anambra State, on dangers of social vices. Uchenna Wekoyo.
The National Directorate of Employment said, given the increasing dimension of insecurity in the country, there is the need to disabuse the minds of unemployed youths and adults from engaging in crimes that will further jeopardize their quest for a better life.
The essence of the program, knowing the nature of our society and things that are happening today in our society, we now said it's very essential that we create an awareness, sensitize the people on the dangers of some of the listed items, such as drug abuse, child abuse, human trafficking, fundamental human rights violation, and domestic violence.
Resource persons that the frustrations of not being engaged have their links to drug abuse, human trafficking, domestic violence, and other forms of human rights violation.
The person who is not engaged meaningfully in economic activity, you will now go to do what? To now use things that are not rational.
When you take drugs,
your brain is no longer working as a normal human brain, then you cannot become fully employed.
They've already told them about human rights, and anybody that violates that right, they know what to do about it. So I think it will drive youths away from crime.
The NDA says a lot of the youths and adults will be trained in skills that will make them self-reliant. In Onitsha, Uche Naweko, NTA News.
And that is it from Enugu. Ruth, it's back to you in Abuja for more on Nationwide.
Thank you, Chinyere. Now, President Muhammadu Buhari has directed that the production and personalization of all Nigerian e-passports and related documentation shall be the sole responsibility of the Nigerian Security Printing and Minting Company. A statement from the presidency says, with the new directive from all existing memoranda of understanding and contracts on printing by other institutions and companies will not be renewed. The Mint, as the Nigerian Security Printing and Minting Company, as popularly called, is the largest banknote and security documents specialist printing company in West Africa. However, its performance was rapidly dwindling in terms of both currency production and security documents. And now to judiciary. The Presidential Election Petition Court has resumed hearing on the petition of the People's Democratic Party and its candidate Atiku Abubakar after a day break from the petition to attend to other petitions which are still at the pre-hearing stage. Daily Atumbi reports.
For that, the five-man Presidential Election Petition Court, led by Justice Mohamed Garba, to attend to the petitions of Hope Democratic Party and that of the People's Democratic Movement. At the Thursday's hearing, the petitioners continue to call additional witnesses in support of their petition. At the last hearing, the People's Democratic Party and its candidate Atiku Abubakar have called 19 witnesses. Petitioners this Thursday called additional 7 witnesses, bringing to 26 all those that have witnessed before the court out of 400 proposed by the PDP and its candidate. All the witnesses were alleging overvoting, alteration of results, and non-usage of card reader in some circumstances. The witnesses who adopted their statements under oath as their evidence in chief were led in evidence by the counsel to the petitioners, Liviu Zogu, SAN. So far, some of the witnesses are local government coalition agents of the PDP during the presidential election. During cross-examination, counsel to President Muhammadu Buhari, Wole Olanikwekun SAN, Usman Ustas SAN for INEC, and Charles Edosonwon SAN for APC, put the witnesses to task on the allegations which were criminal in nature. Counsel to the respondent also pushed it before the court that the witnesses relied on reports from party agents who are still alive but not brought to witness, thereby rendering the witnesses to be given a third-party evidence that is inadmissible in law. The petitioners are challenging the victory of President Muhammadu Buhari in the February 23 presidential election in 11 states in the North Central, Northeast, and Northwest geopolitical zones of the country. The PDP and its candidate have 10 days to call their witnesses. At this Thursday's hearing, National Chairman of the APC, Adams Oshiomhole, is representing President Muhammadu Buhari, and the APC, whilst Peter Obi is standing in for the PDP and its candidates who are the petitioners in this matter. In Abuja, Dele Atumbi, NTA News.
We are now disengaging from our terrestrial platform to join our AFCON studio, but the news continues on our satellite platforms. All right now.